guys, and welcome to the In the Game Room podcast online at inthegameroom.com. I am Alan, and I am out in the game room tonight, and it's cold. It's just under 50 degrees, 40 something, or as we in California like to call it, really cold. I know in the rest of the country, this is probably a warm evening to some of you, but for us California desert dwellers, this is it's getting chilly, especially for September. Tonight I wanted to run an idea by you that I had for it's a gaming idea for a scenario that I'm working on in my head right now, and I wanted to get some ideas from you guys. I'm probably not the first person to think of this. Somebody else has probably done something very similar or exactly the same. I don't know, but I did think of it on my own, so I'm not copying anybody. This idea I have, I'm probably going to use it for a bolt action scenario, because that's what I'm playing right now. But this could easily be used in like Flames of War, Team Yankee, any 15mm, 20mm, 28mm war game that involves small squads of people, or it could even be used in a 6mm war game if you were talking about entire companies maybe. What I'm talking about is Paratroopers. Any game that can use Paratroopers could probably use this this technique that I've come up with, or that I'm developing. I haven't quite got it all figured out yet, but here's basically what it is. I thought if I had a game where, let's just say on the far end of the table where you guys are sitting, that's where the Germans are coming on board. On this edge of the board is where the Americans are coming on board, but the Americans are 82nd Airborne. So they're paratroopers. So what if they dropped in? How would I sort of represent that? So I had an idea. Let me run this by you guys and see what you think. So at the beginning of the game, let's just say that I have 6 squads of American paratroopers. Each squad is 6, 7, 8 guys. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But there's 6 individual squads. So what I do is I take these little tiny pieces of paper, which I've just cut out from a post-it note, and I number them 1 through 6, one for each one of the squads that's coming on board. And then I have the American player, or me in this case maybe, pick a location where I want my guys to drop into. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to say it's this house, and this German Panzer III is not right outside the house. So this is my target. This is what I want to aim for. It could be this clump of trees over here, it could be this building, it could be this Sherman, it could be anything. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to say the Americans want to drop in as close as possible to that house. Now, to make this work in the game, I would keep that destination secret from the German player, and I would let the German player take his first move. So he comes on the board. If he's playing bolt action, he's moving 6 or 12 inches, probably 12 inches on a run, because there's no reason for him to move 6 because he doesn't even know where the enemy is yet. So the Germans come on the board, whether it's from over there, straight on, whatever, they come on. And then the American paratroopers come on the board. That's where these little pieces of paper come in handy. What I'm proposing to do is actually get up here, stand directly above the building, and just drop one. And then drop another. And drop a third. And a fourth. And a fifth. And a sixth. So one landed over here behind this wall and behind this building. 2 of them landed right here together. Another one landed here. Another one landed way over here. And another one landed way over here. In my way of thinking, that's probably pretty accurate to the way it would go down. In more modern times today, paratroopers would probably be a little more accurate. They're probably equipped with GPS on their wrist or something. They've got steerable parachutes and all that. But in World War II, it wasn't quite all that cool, and you kind of landed where you landed, and that's just how it worked. So I was thinking this would be a really cool way to deploy on the board. And it could work out really great, or, excuse me a second, that is my front gate alarm. So it could work out really great, it could work out bad, but whatever, however it works out, it's going to be a surprise to both players. Because if the Germans came on from over there and they moved forward on a run, they could be literally right underneath where unit number 4 landed. So that could be close combat in the second turn. So that would be interesting. I was trying to think of like different scenarios where maybe the American player thinks he's going to be clever and says he wants to drop at the rear edge of the board. Okay, that's where the Germans are coming on, but it could just as well happen that they could land right on top of the Germans. But I thought, what if they do pick that edge of the board, or if they pick this edge of the board right over here, or any edge, if they pick that as their spot, okay, that's fine, they can do that, but there's a chance that they're actually going to land off board. And so how would I deal with that? I haven't quite come up with a definitive way to deal with that yet, and it'll probably be different in different games, but I'm thinking in bolt action, if they landed off board, I would find the nearest point on board and move them there, and say they don't actually come on until the beginning of the third turn. And that is because the first turn was their landing. Their second turn would have to be getting to the edge of the board, and then on the third turn they could come on. So I think that might be a way to deal with the paratroopers landing off board. Another way you could do it is you could say, hey, if you land off board, that's it, you never got here. You got lost. And that's an interesting dynamic to the game too. So if you pick a risky place to land, like maybe I say this forest over here would be a great place to land, but 2 of my units go off the edge. Well, they went off the edge. Fuck them, they're gone. So you could do that. So anyways, that's an idea I'm just playing around with as a way of deploying paratroopers. And like I said, it can be used in a lot of different games as just a way of you know, getting your initial setup where people are going to be. And I think if a squad or several squads are paratroopers, why not deploy them kind of randomly as they would in real life? They would, you know, they'd land where they land. The wind blows a little, whatever. If you wanted to simulate that, I guess you could have a fan blowing at the other side of the room, and when you drop them, you know, see where they float off to. Just wouldn't turn on a real powerful fan, otherwise they're all going to land way off board, and that's going to be a problem. So anyways, that's just an idea I was playing around with in my head, and I thought I would run it by you guys and see if you've ever done a game where you've had paratroopers land on the board. How do you designate where they land? I'm sure you could designate a point and come up with some kind of randomization on a die roll of, you know, which direction they land off that, and then how far off, and you could do it all that way. That would be cool probably, but somehow I think just kind of dropping little scraps of paper adds, just, it's kind of fun. It's just it'll you know, liven up the game a little, and it'll be exciting to see, you know, exactly what happens. So that's it. That's my idea. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me, is it great? Is it okay? Does it suck? And if it does suck, how would you do it differently? And even if it doesn't suck, how have you done it differently in the past? And share that with everybody else, and we'll see if we can get a conversation going around randomly scattering airborne troops on the board at the beginning of the game. That's it. Thanks a lot. I'm going inside where it's warm. Keep on gaming.